Elijah's women were underage secretaries, and can you expound on that?
Yeah, well, I guess they were, because they were there. I seen them myself. It's all true. It's all true.
Good evening, messenger. You convinced us that you were the last messenger. How many other bastard children do you have?
You're watching America This Morning, America's #1 early morning news.
Time after time after time, we are watching murderers go free. They hide behind their badges, they hide behind their white privilege, and they use the excuse that they fear for their lives to murder our young people in cold blood.
It's done.
Eggs, my brother.
No. Don't think about it.
All you self-righteous assholes do is march and destroy your own communities. Killing me won't change a goddamn thing.
It's a lot different when it's a grown black man standing his ground.
Barbershop conversation, guys. Make sure you guys go check out the films, man. Go check them out. SilentHeroFilms.com, as you guys see below. So I got about 40 minutes, man. We're going to decode this Stephen Espinoza. If we get through it all, we get through it all. Maybe we get through half of it. I don't know. Shout out to Marcos Villegas. This is his. And a lot was said. This is his interview, and a lot was said. So we're going to break this down and have some fun. Why not? Why not? Since I'm the leader of this conversation, and we're gonna make it pop. So let's get started, man.
Type of a buildup do we get with that fight? Like, do we go back to the days of like Mayweather Canelo with like the multi-city press tours and the 24/7 type things for a fight like that?
Well, again, this one I think even more so is going to be a social media promotion.
It's going to be a social media promotion. Does that make Ryan Garcia the ace high? Oh, man. Ryan Garcia, you need to renegotiate, because in terms of pay-per-views, you are out. I don't know what it is, but it's 5-1, 4-1 as it pertains to this. So you should get an upside. Let Tank Davis get the gate. Y'all do something with the gate. And you get an upside on a pay-per-view. You should be getting more per household than Tank Davis on a pay-per-view. Not because, it's just pragmatics. You have more people that's going to watch you. And then Stephen Espinoza said years ago that Eddie Hearn didn't know what he was talking about when he introduced the app to the boxing world, right? But now he's depending on an app to sell a pay-per-view. Shall we begin?
And especially with those two guys who have, among, the top, two of the probably the top 3 or 4 social media followings in the sport. So I think, whereas, traditionally would have said, hey, multi-city, you want to generate all this publicity and all these
multi-city. Wait, I'll let him finish his point.
Different areas and we don't have to do a multi-city press tour to create content.
We don't have to do a multi-city press tour to create what?
Content.
Create content. You know why? Because you don't have multi-city money. Stephen Espinoza, you wasn't granted multi-city budget. They struck down your budgetary items. Stephen Espinoza is an employee with 2 bosses now. If you go back and read the article, look at my video, Stephen Espinoza is simply an employee. He's been stripped of his powers. He is an employee now of Paramount Global. He is no longer the president of Showtime Sports. He has to check in with a president who claims he's a president. He's keeping the same title, because if they change his title, then the talent that he's brought along will begin to ask questions. Shall we continue?
And those guys are experts at creating content already. So
we're going to depend on a 26-year-old who's in between God and the streets, Ryan Garcia. He doesn't know who he wants to be. And we're going to have a guy who has a sentencing hearing May 5th, who when upon himself, when he's given his freedom, he always finds a way to sabotage himself. I repeat, Tank sabotages himself. So we're going to depend on them to sell the pay-per-view. We ain't got no money for no multi-city, even though Oscar De La Hoya in Texas next to Ryan Garcia, boom, instant dynamite. And what does the fan want to see most? They want to see Tank and who? Ryan Garcia engaged. But we ain't got the money. We ain't got the money. No, we ain't got the money. We ain't got it. We ain't got it.
So particularly given the age and the demographics of their fan bases, like this is something that I think this will be, the first sort of social media first boxing promotion. So, what does that mean? Look, I don't think it's going to be revolutionary, but again, instead of, thinking about, what do we put in, how many episodes of
wait a minute. He said, so this is going to be the first social media event. So guess what? All you pro-black Negroes, and guess what? He don't want your money. He don't want your input. You know where he wants? Shit, man. Y'all motherfuckers, y'all black people don't support Tank on pay-per-view. Y'all didn't support Earl. Y'all didn't support Deontay. Y'all didn't support Jamel and Jamal. We don't depend on y'all. We need a new audience, because the new audience, maybe we can jig them up. But all y'all streaming. We don't give a damn. And guess what? The Latinos, they gonna come anyway, because you know what? His name is Ryan Garcia. And guess what? He's fighting the Mayate. He's fighting the El Negro. So the Latino fans are coming. But we don't need to promote to those Negroes. We need those hipsters. Those 25-year-old people who are in between jobs, and they're gonna band $80 together and buy the pay-per-view because they have a man crush on Ryan Garcia. You know what I mean? And or they hate Tank Davis. Shall we continue? They don't want your money, Negroes. They don't want your money, baby daddies. He's not allocating no funds to you, because guess what? The data say you don't buy pay-per-views. The data say we can't put on Earl Spence and Terrence Crawford, because guess what? The baby daddies, the pro-black Hotep community, won't buy the fight. Continue.
Access that we do, we'll do a couple for sure, but more so is how do we?
They doing a couple of 24/7 accesses, but more importantly, language.
How do we adapt what we're doing to get maximum exposure on TikTok?
How do we maximize what we get on TikTok? So basically, what he's saying, oh, y'all were pro Steven Espinoza, but Steven Espinoza don't give a fuck about you, nigga. He don't care about you and your dollars, because he know you gonna stream it anyway. He know all you guys with YouTube channels are gonna do what? Stream the fight. You ain't gonna buy it. Y'all in the comment section, who banging, gang banging, I'm this, I'm that, but you ain't gonna spend no $80 because you ain't got it. If you can't buy your son or daughter diapers, you ain't gonna buy no pay-per-view, but you gonna buy that weed though. Purple Lip community, y'all gonna buy that weed though. Let's go.
Because that's the demo that we can capture with these two fighters, and they already have an audience there. So the reality is, how do we use?
It's basically like the Democratic Party. It's basically like the Democratic Party. We don't need to. The blacks gonna vote. The blacks gonna vote anyway. The blacks gonna vote Democrat anyway, because we done conditioned them that every Republican is a racist. So we're going to tap into this new demographic called the Latinos. We're going to bring them over from Mexico. We're going to make the blacks believe that we building this wall so they can't get in. But when in reality, we're taking them to Arizona, California, so we can change the voting electric. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're going to trick the blacks though. But we'll continue.
Those tools more proactively to get people under the tent.
That's crazy. This is going to be like the first fight where you guys would leverage something like that,
in a way this meaningful, and particularly because
so basically you're the zone. Basically you're Eddie Hearn without the personality. How can Steven Espinoza sell me a pay-per-view? So you need Eddie Hearn, you need a promoter. Al Heyman don't talk. Tom Brown got 4 tongues. I mean, he stumbles over the word at. He can't promote the fight. Who gonna promote the fight? You don't have a lead promoter. Oscar De La Hoya is a secondary promoter. How are we gonna sell this fight? You need Eddie Hearn. First time it's ever been done. Yeah. You're right. Continue.
You know, we don't usually have 2 different fighters that each are as active and have such a big following as they do.
Oscar's optimistic that you could start doing more business.
Hopefully, we only gonna get through like 3 minutes of this, but we'll continue
With you guys in terms of placing his fighters with some of the PBC fighters. He mentioned, Munguia, Zurdo as one of them. Do you get that sense that, like, hey, there's finally like a little bit of a thawing process where we could see more of these fights between some of their guys and the PBC stable?
You know, that's it's largely
he's finding his words right now. He's finding his words not to tell the truth. He is accountable to shareholders. He has a boss now. He has to count his words carefully. Count him. Listen.
His hands. I mean, look, I think part of the obstacle along the way has been contractual obligations, and, particularly with DAZN as they were sort of launching. Look, you're launching a new endeavor, and they were pretty antagonistic in terms of how they related to everybody else in the sport. It didn't leave a lot of room for collaboration. And, I think they've adjusted their business model. I think
they think they've adjusted their business model. No, you've adjusted your business model, Steven. You're going on TikTok. You're not doing shoulder programming on Showtime. You're doing 2 episodes. You got what, a month and a half left? So you're doing 2 episodes. It's March 3rd. The fight is April 22nd. You've adjusted your business model to do what? To fit the Eddie Hearn business model. We going to TikTok to sell this fight. We ain't going to terrestrial TV. Nah. We not paying for commercials. We not doing none of that. We ain't we just gonna do TikTok. We gonna have Tank dance. We gonna have Tank twerk and Ryan Garcia twerk. They gonna have a twerkinator contest, man. That's what they gonna do, man. You know what I mean? They gonna get some girls to poke their tongue out and twerk and she twerks. And she twerks. Yeah, that's gonna be the theme song for the TikTok videos.
They're no longer launching. I mean, the first thing you probably don't want to launch a business and then immediately start watering it down by working with everybody. I assume that's part of the strategy.
I, Julian Gordon, with this mortgage, relinquish part of my freedom to side. Did you know that the
appreciate you, Michael?
I think that's part of it. From our perspective, we've never been exclusive with PBC.
That's a fucking lie. You've never been exclusive with PBC. Oh, so you've done fights on Saturday night. On Saturday night, you've done fights outside of PBC as the lead promoter. When was the last time, Will Steven? Stop fucking lying. See how you lying? See, now he has to work with other promoters because Al Heyman, oh Lord, him and Al Heyman are like this. And if you understand if we get there today, if you understand the language in the interview, you'll get it. But him and Al Heyman are not together anymore. They're as far apart as the East is from the West. You know what I mean? From the North, from the South. You know what I mean? And we'll continue.
Door's been open. We've had, Oscar and I talked about Ryan Garcia, way back probably in 2015, 2016 about,
and then Al Heyman said, no, he can't. I don't want Oscar De La Hoya. No. You want this Floyd Mayweather money? Little Steven, do you want this Floyd Mayweather money? Well, if you want this Floyd Mayweather money, I don't want no outside promoters. I got Lou DiBella on the East Coast. I got Tom Brown on the West Coast. And we made Doan Travis Kaufman's dad every now and again. And we gonna funnel some money through Warriors Boxing. And then we're gonna go to Minneapolis in later years and we're gonna run it up there. We're gonna run it up in Minneapolis. That's what we're gonna do.
Doing something with him. So there have been conversations, but maybe this provides more of it.
He said, but there's been conversations, but so that means you omit everything before the but. You omit everything before the gut. I'm a journalist for real. Continue.
A template for how things can be done in the future.
The future, because your future is contingent upon what? You bringing in all these promoters, and look at your cards now. Oh man, you got Lou DeBella, Adam Salita, whatever his name is. You got Salita Promotions. You trying to find a promoter now, aren't you? Aren't you? Aren't you?
But by the same token, like not every fight merits this. It's sort of like, just because we did Mayweather Pacquiao, with HBO Showtime, it didn't lead to a bunch more HBO Showtime collaborations. But where it's necessary and where there's enough business to do, like, look, if this breaks the ice, then great.
Yeah, he's hoping that this leads to the Crawford Spence fight, and he had a chat with Crawford. We don't know where.
Okay, great. Fasten your seatbelt, guys. Shout out to Marcos Villegas. This is a great interview. Marcos, good job. I'll ask one question. And last, how many cards do you plan on putting on this year? And what's the total budget for that, Steven? Watch that motherfucker dance when he has to give an absolute answer, like he's doing now. Appreciate you, Marcos. Good interview, Marcos. Marcos, this may be your best work in accordance to what I talk about.
Where Crawford's going to go, but do you think something is needed like that, like Crawford aligning himself with a promoter like Oscar that you guys have worked with to nail it down?
No, I don't think so. I mean, if that's where he ends up, then great. That's certain.
If Crawford ends up with Golden Boy, no, that shouldn't stop the fight. But what did we say before? What did they convince me to believe that he had to come over to the other side of the street? But now Steven Espinoza saying, no, that doesn't need to happen. No. Other side of the street myth is dead. Steven Espinoza just admitted it.
Certainly, his prerogative and to run his career the way he wants to. I don't think it affects it one way or the other.
Doesn't affect it one way or the other. Having a promoter, okay? And by the way, Al Heyman greatly dislikes Oscar De La Hoya. Don't like him at all.
Because I don't think it was the lack or presence of a promoter that caused it to break down.
It wasn't the lack of or presence of a promoter that caused it to break down. Steven, this is his own words.
On the first time. If having a promoter in there and I can make the negotiation easier and smoother, then great. But I don't think that having a promoter, not having the promoter was a factor. It really was sort of, I think different expectations, and just not being able to get to the same page.
Different expectations. Shall we say money? Shall we say Steven and Al Heyman infighting? Shall we say Steven Espinoza lacks the control? Steven Espinoza lacks the cojones to stand up to Al Heyman. He's getting bully balled and getting bounced, getting played. Now he's got 1 foot in a job, 1 foot out of a job, and he's going to have to go get his own practice. Now he's going to have to go down to Texas and he'll go to Vegas and start his own practice. You know what I mean? And then he's going to be one of these. Steven Espinoza is going to turn into, in 10 years, Steven Espinoza is going to be the disgruntled lawyer that's trying to fix boxing. Watch, you'll see.
And then, at a certain point, Crawford went in a different direction.
At some point, Crawford went to a different direction. Why, Steven? Why? Why did he go in a different direction, little Steven? Obviously, you got the money. Or you didn't have the money, huh? That's basically what he's saying. No money. It's not the promoter. It's the money. If you got the money, you got the deal. You just got, anyways.
Have you guys re-engaged? Have you guys tried to?
Here we go right now. He says, fuck Al Heyman in this. Watch this clip. Watch this, and we're going to stop it here because how many minutes are we on now? We on 18 minutes. We're going to stop it here. We're going to do a part 2, maybe. I don't know when, but we'll do a part 2 to this. Shout out to Marcos Villegas. Great job, Marcos. And thank you, dog. Thank you for being a journalist. Thank you, dog.
To start talks.
The reality is this is one where you don't want too many cooks in the kitchen.
You don't want too many cooks in the kitchen. Remember, he separated himself from Al Heyman. Him and Al Heyman don't get along because guess what? When they before this fight, him and Al Heyman, we work together. We do this. We work together. Yada yada yada. Who bang? Yeah. We 2 peas in the pod. Continue.
Yeah. And so, look, I want to insert myself where
I won't insert myself. Sound like you've been watching porn or something. I won't insert myself. I won't insert myself. He separated himself from, he believes Al Heyman is a failure. This is what I believe. He believes he doesn't respect Al Heyman anymore. He wants no parts of Al Heyman anymore. He's moving on from Al Heyman. He's trying to convince fighters to, he's searching high and low. But he tried to get Golden Boy, but Golden Boy is in an exclusive contract with the Zone. So now he got to hustle. He going to Lou DiBella. Man, y'all see, that's why we got. Anyways, continue. Watch this.
We can be helpful. But that I'm not.
Anyway, we can be helpful. Give us the money, man. You know your role. Al Heyman tells you what to do because you signed up for the Floyd Mayweather effect. Just give me your money, little Steven. You make no fights on the PBC side. All your job is to do is to give me a date and give me the money, and you shut the hell up, and you can be the face, and we gonna run a successful event. Do you understand, little Steven? That's your job. You're a peon to Al Heyman. But now you're separating yourself now, huh? Ooh, this is getting interesting.
Demanding a role in this. I mean, this is largely a conversation between Crawford and PBC and TGB.
Crawford, PBC, Al Heyman, and TGB, who has nothing. It's just basically them two. It's largely a conversation between them. So you're not in the negotiation, Steven? Because you ain't got the money. If you had the money, you would be in the negotiations. What need a main man? We got it done. We got it done. We did it. We did it first.
As it should be, because they're negotiating sort of terms of the fight.
There, not we. I thought you and PBC are working together.
Right, and in the business thing. So where I can be helpful and provide some information or explain sort of how.
No information. Nah. Where's the checkbook at? We just need you to pay these fighters so you can keep your job, because you are in charge of sports and entertainment, and you signed your name in blood under the umbrella of Al Heyman, and Al Heyman you trust because it was a plug and play. Floyd Mayweather hid a multitude of sins. Floyd Mayweather messed up himself, because Floyd Mayweather should have the fighters, but he got Steven Espinoza and he got Floyd, and now they scrambling. Floyd is flying his little Mayweather jet all across the world, trying to make $5 to $10 million just to stay afloat. And little Steven signed his name in blood and ain't got the money to produce fights. So what we get little fights like, these are good fights, quality fights. But you can't put two big fights together on free Showtime anymore because you ain't got the money, dog. And now you're trying to separate yourself and build another Twin Tower, huh? You trying to build another Freedom, whatever you got. You know what I mean? By the way, Steven, you did have the best during COVID. You had the best backdrop in COVID. I will give you credit for that. The Freedom Tower, your backdrop, beautiful. But you might have to move out. You know what I mean? Because I'm not sure if your severance package will be able to afford that mortgage or that rent that you have, but we'll continue.
A deal like this works, I'll do that. But it really is until someone says, hey, tags me in and says, look,
someone said tag you in. Hold up. I thought you were the president of Showtime or sports and entertainment. Somebody say tag you in. I thought you and Al Heyman had a perfect marriage. So you don't talk to Al Heyman on the phone, do you? You talk to TGB, huh? You talk to Louis the Koopas, huh? How come you ain't mentioned Al Heyman's name not once in this video? How come you always say Al? How come you ain't mentioned his name, huh? You can't say his name, little Steven. Say thank you, Al Heyman, right now, little Steven. I dare you. 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 I double dog dare you. We going back to Nickelodeon days. You want some slime, little Steven? You want some slime, little Steven? You a lawyer. You forgot your last name was Espinoza, huh? This is I'm gonna do a video on that. Steven Espinoza forgot his last name was Espinoza. He forgot.
You can really use the network to mediate or do something like that.
Network to mediate. No, we don't need you to mediate. We need your money. Your money. Do you understand? Your money. If you don't have the money, you can't sit at the table. Do you understand, little Steven? You were the money man. It was all good just a week ago when Floyd got 1 million pay-per-views and y'all ran out of that Conor McGregor and Manny Pacquiao money, huh? Y'all ran through that, huh? I know.
That I'll sit back because the last thing we need is too many cooks in the kitchen.
I'll stop it there. Last thing we need is too many cooks in the kitchen. I thought, didn't Floyd Mayweather say the best in the business? But he just said that about another network, Zeus. So Floyd just talks where the money goes, right? You know what I mean? Man, I thank God I can sit in my mansion and just decode this for y'all. How come you ain't say Al Heyman's name? How come you say PBC? How come he ain't say the negotiations between Al Heyman and Terrence Crawford? He afraid to say his name. Say his name 3 times, Steven. See if he comes. Say his name 3 times in the mirror in the dark. I dare you, Steven. Say his name. Yeah, y'all gonna get this work, man. Barbershop Conversations, man. This is part 1, and we're gonna bring it back. But make sure, don't forget, man. I got some great films that are out there, man. I am, man, I'm the best at this, man. 9 Wise. Make sure you guys go get it. I'm working on something different right now. We should have some fun with that. But in the meantime, between time, go get 9 Wise, and we're gonna do a part 2 to this. We're stopping at 5 minutes and 41 seconds. Thank you, Marcos Villegas, for this. I appreciate it. Marcos, get him again this weekend. He should be in town. Get him again this weekend. Hit him up. Peace. Yo.
It's what?
I said Malcolm alleged that some of Elijah's women were underage secretaries, and can you expound on that?
Yeah, well, I guess they were, because they were there. I seen them. I seen them myself. It's all true. It's all true.
Good evening, messenger. You convinced us that you were the last messenger